ॐ शुक्लां भरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये वागर्धाविव सम्पृक्तौ वागर्धप्रतिपत्तये जगतः पितरौ वन्दे पार्वती परमेश्वरौ वन्दे पार्वती परमेश्वरौ गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुर्गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुर्साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. So I believe we completed Ratnagraiveya Chintaka Lola Mukta Phalanvita. And there were multiple meanings that we have taken, and I thought it might have gotten a bit confusing as soon as we read more than 3, 4, 5 meanings. Sometimes it may get confusing. So are there any questions or any thoughts on that, or can we move to the next one, which is the Kameshwara Premaratna Maniprati Panastani?
May I know the number of the shlokam?
The shlokam would be...
It is 13 and we are moving to 14.
Yeah. So can we move to the next one? Because that Ratnagraiveya Chintaka had many meanings to it. There are bija mantras in that, and there were sadhana specific, the lolas, the muktas, and Graiveka Chintas, and all of that was given. So I'm hoping that is clear. If not, I think I will just try to write down some notes and share that namam. I will write that down, so I will remember to do it. Okay. So we'll move to the next namam. I'm assuming we have read this sloka and we are about to go into the meaning. Is that correct? Or did we not read the sloka or chant the sloka?
I don't think we chanted.
Okay. So we'll do that. Kameshwara Prema Ratna Mani Prati Panastani, the regular sa with a regular ta, not the stha. And there are no additional nuances, very simple, straightforward namam, and it is one single namam. And this is what we call again seeing a Samayacharam, which is basically both mother and father being in one namam, Shiva Shakti. So it's a very beautiful, important namam for us to understand. The next one is Nabhyala, the second Bha Mahaprana. Nabhyala Vala Romali, the second La at the tail end of the Yara Lava. Lata Phala Kuchadvayi. And both, you will notice that all the slokas end in dirghams, and because it is a feminine Sahasranamam, so everything ends in dirgham here. So note that. So the way it would be chanted. Kameshwara Prema Ratna Mani Pratipanastani Nabhyalavala Romali Lata Phalakuchadvayi. And ensure that you're not pausing in between the two. It would, in this particular case, it would make sense if you paused, but it is not supposed to be paused. And we will learn why, because we will look at the meanings. Kameshwara Prema Ratna, yes, mother is Kameshwara's Prema Ratnam, but she is actually giving something in return for his love. So it has to be chanted completely. Otherwise, it would be a one-side equation and mother wouldn't like it. She wants to give back to Kameshwara and in double the quantity. It is not even single or the exact proportion. And the next one is also important. Just please don't pause like how we do it for Gita slokas or some other slokas. Sahasranamams are not supposed to be paused in between the two quartlets. So it has to be a beautiful seamless transition into the next quartlet. And also don't drag the dirgham in between the two. So it is not Kameshwara Prema Ratna Mani Prani. That is wrong. So if it is Hrasvam, just chant it as Hrasvam. Kameshwara Prema Ratna Mani Pratipanastani Nabhyalavala Romali Lata Phalakuchadvayi. And here Nabhya It's very important to use that bha and feel the vibration in your heart. It's a very important nama with some mantras and importance behind it. So chant it with a stressed, nice, emphatic bha. Who would like to chant the sloka with me?
I will chant.
Awesome, Jai Shri Ji. We'll do the first full line and the second full line, and then we'll do the full sloka. कामेश्वर प्रेम रत्न मणि प्रतिपणस्तनी
कामेश्वर प्रेम रत्न मणि प्रतिपनस्तनी
पर्णस्तनी the na tata dadhana, not the na.
पणस्तनी.
You want to try one more time?
Yeah.
कामेश्वर प्रेम रत्न मणि प्रतिपणस्तनी
कामेश्वर प्रेम रत्न मणि प्रतिपणस्तनी
नाभ्यालवाल रोमाळि लता फलकुचद्वयी
नाभ्यालवाल रोमाळि लता फलकुचद्वयी.
Two things, the bha has to be mahaprana and li is hrasvam, don't drag it. Nabhyalavala romali lata phalakuchadvayi.
नाभ्यालवाल रोमाळि लता फलकुचद्वयी.
Yeah, I think you have to just, emphasize on those two. Those seems to be like, coming again. Bha is mahaprana, nabhya versus nabhya. Nabhya, and there could be some other namams with a regular ba, but this particular one, practice so you can do that additional emphasis. And if you're on mute, if all of you want to just try with that additional emphasis and see if you feel a little jitter in your heart. I think jitter is the wrong word, but there is a vibration that happens. Feel that while you're listening to this. Try just that particular part of the namam and see if you feel it. Nabhyalavala romali lata phalakuchadvayi.
नाभ्यालवाल रोमाळि लता फलकुचद्वयी.
Awesome. We'll do the full sloka now. कामेश्वर प्रेम रत्न मणि प्रतिपणस्तनी नाभ्यालवाल रोमाळि लता फलकुचद्वयी.
कामेश्वर प्रेम रत्न मणि प्रतिपणस्तनी नाभ्यालवाल रोमाळि लता फलकुचद्वयी.
Awesome. And romali has to be hrasvam. Just continue to practice it, please. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jayashree. I hope you know to raise your hand to chant a sloka. I hope you're not scared for me giving feedback. Please don't feel that way. It's just, for everybody's benefit to understand the finer nuances of chanting. That actually reminds me something. And it came as a discussion that I was having with a lady. These are very energizing chants without knowing there are so many bijaksharas, and I've previously mentioned that not all of them have been even uncovered by the great siddhas, because these are done by Vagdevis themselves, and it is a lot of bijaksharas are embedded in this. So both Vishnu Sahasranamam and Lalita Sahasranamam are super energizing chants. So if you're doing them at night, there might be a lot of energy that may get awakened and might cause you to have disturbed sleep, or probably not able to sleep very quickly. So try to do it earlier in the day. My philosophy has been based on what I've learned since childhood, is to chant them very early in the morning, as early as possible. So the energy continues to guide me throughout the day. It just becomes my guiding pole. And then towards the end of the day, I generally try to do activities that calm down my mind, and doing the pranayama is very important, just to control the mind, and slowing down the thoughts, doing meditation and that sort of stuff. And if you do that for 10 minutes or so, you'll fall asleep within 10 seconds. Sometimes I actually, surprise myself on how quickly I can fall asleep. There was one day my husband was walking from a washroom, our master washroom, and he was carrying his remote. He picked it up. I remember him picking it up. I don't recollect him turning it on, and I don't live in a palace. I live in a regular home. Probably it was 10 steps that he was taking, but I don't recollect him turning it on or getting disturbed because of the turned on the TV or its noise. Just 10 seconds, and I sleep for 5 hours, and that's good enough sleep and very deep sleep. So just try to adjust which you chant early and which you chant later in the day. And if you are feeling any of those energies, anything like that, that you have questions about, not that I can answer every question, not that I know the answer to every question, we can have a discussion, or I could probably find some help if you need anything like that. Just wanted to raise it. Now we will look at the Namam Kameshwara Premaratna Mani Pratipanastani. So there are three different deeper meanings. Like one is, of course, the Bijakshara meaning that I brought into this one. And then one is a pretty straightforward meaning that we can see. And there is another meaning as well for more of the regular day-to-day lives. So, and we are doing the Madhyama Kutam. Kamaraja Kutam is also what we call it. So everybody knows it's from Kantam down. So from here, there are two there, so I won't speak about the second one. But till here, we call it the Vagbhava Kutam, the first Kutam of Panchadashi. From here till Kati Pradesham or the waist, it is the second Kutam, the Kamaraja Kutam or Madhyama Kutam, and waist down is called as the Shakti Kutam in Mother. And the same applies to Sri Chakram, the same applies to our body, and there are variations, minor variations, but essentially there is no difference between us, the universal, the cosmic Vishwa Vigraha, or the Vigraham that we put in our temple in our Puja Mandiram with a small Vigraham, even that's the same, or the Sri Chakram is no different from all of that. So, Kameshwara Prema Ratna Mani Pratipanastani. So, what they're saying is, and no, sthanam is breasts, and they are the sustenance sthanam, right? With the just how children survive with mother feeding through the breasts. So here the description is the whole universe is being sustained by the mother through the nourishment that we get from her breast. And in the previous one of the slokas, we have seen that her ears, her eyes, and her breasts are none other than the sun and the moon. And we have seen that in one of the previous namams when we were reading about her eyes and ears. So here we have to remember that context as well. The universe is being sustained with that. And as soon as the breasts come into picture, they are actually bringing Kamesha right away. And that is because by capturing the love of Kamesha, mother mixes her love with it and nourishes her children. Hence, the love of mother is twice as much as Kamesha's is how it is described. And just going back into Vishnu Sahasranamam, if you think about it, we were talking about Parabrahman being Asangaha, the Gunatitam or the Nirgunaha. He doesn't get attached, or he is attributeless, and he doesn't get attached to anything. Versus, we are talking about mother being energy and the matter, and she is very attached to us in the sense that energy is changeable, so it converts into various different kinds of energies, and the matter is also changeable. So today, somebody is an infant, tomorrow he'll be a young man, and day after tomorrow he'll be a middle-aged person, and then older age, etc. So there is change, there is birth, death, change, converting from one to the other. All of this happens, and she can get attached. So that's why there is, we also say father, even in our regular day-to-day lives, there is so much of love the father gives, but he somehow feels a bit unattached, or not disengaged, wrong word, but you know what I mean when I say the mother feels like a lot more attached, lot more protective, and does a lot more things to children. And in Sri Vidya, that's what we talk about. Like, it's probably easier to go to mother because she, and we were also talking about in our class last week, we take one step towards her and she'll take 100 steps and she'll run to pick us up as soon as she hears our cry or call for her. Just the word amma, or in whatever language, however we call her, she will run. And they say it's because she takes Kamesha's love, mixes with her own, and then she feeds that to nourish the children. So it'll be double the love. So that is one meaning. So from Abrahma Pipilika Paryantam is Abrahmataha Pipilika Paryantam is what the description says, which means from the Chaturmukha Brahma, not the Parabrahman, from the Chaturmukha Brahma to the ant. Everything in this universe is being sustained through mother's breast. The next namam, which is I think the more straightforward namam, just exact kind of translation meaning for this one, would be she took Kameshwara's Hridaya Premaratnam, love as a ratna, and in return has given double the love back. And so Mani Prati Panastani, so she has given Pratipanam is double the love she has given back to him. And this explains how couples should complete to give each other more than expecting, oh, you don't do this for me. And I do that sometimes too, just to kid my husband. But we all feel like, there is an expectation in a relationship. So instead of that, giving back, how much am I giving, is a thought that needs to come into picture when we think about this nama. Now, my favorite part of this namam is the Bijakshara version. So, Kameshwara is the Parabrahman, and Ratnam means something that is bright and Prakasham. So, what is that mantra that is indicating or shining light on Parabrahman? That is the deeper inner meaning when we say Kameshwara Premaratna. And that is, what is the bijam for Parabrahman? Om. So Om is the Ratnam that is shining light on Kameshwara. Mantra Ratnam that is shining light on Kameshwara. Then the next two, Pratipana, means 2 times the Pranavam. So we are talking about Pranavam is Om, right? So everybody knows that. So 2 times of that Pranavam, and the answer is in Uttara Narayanam in Purusha Suktam. So there is a second part of Purusha Suktam, and the last, but I think third or fourth line, Hrishchate Lakshmishcha Patnyau Aho Ratre Parshve Nakshatrani Rupam. So it's a beautiful, beautiful, amazing Suktam, part of the Suktam, where actually says you can see Bhagavan in Nakshatras, in the sky, when you see the real, like, we're not the city light sky. But if we go into the dark zones, and there are quite a few dark zones in Ontario, there is one in Leamington and Addax. If you want to just ever try to go there, they purposefully make those dark zones so you can actually see the stars and the sky in its real glory. When you see that, it just is amazing, like billions of stars that we would generally not get to see. So it actually, the Uttara Narayanam says, Nakshatrani Rupam is in that form. Anyway, just before that line comes this Hrishchate Lakshmishcha Patnyo. Hrim is the Hri, and Lakshmi mantram is Shrim. So those are the 2 Gupta pranavams for mother. So that those that shine light on mother are Hrim and Shrim. So it is together Om Hrim Shrim is the mantra. So in Sri Vidya, there is another bijam that gets added, and any namavali when we do, we use these as the 4 bijaksharas to do the pujas. So for example, if we were doing the Lalita Sahasra namavali, so generally for any ashtotram or any puja like that, we say Om Shri Matre Namaha, Om Shri Maharajnyai Namaha, right? Like we include Om. But in Sri Vidya, we actually include Om Aim Hrim Shrim Shri Matre Namaha, Om Aim Hrim Shrim Shri Maharajnyai Namaha. So those are the 4 Bijaksharas that uncover more and more knowledge for us. So that is the Hrim and Shrim as the Bijaksharas for the mother aspect of the universe, and Om as the Bijakshara for the Parabrahman, the father aspect of the universe. So that's what the Bijakshara version, the meaning of this Nama. Any questions before we move to the next one? And please,
Guru, one sec, Guruji, where did you say you see lot of stars in Toronto? Which place did you say?
it is there is one in Barrie, Muskoka, not Barrie, Muskoka, and the one that I personally like is in Lennox Addington, pretty close to Kingston. Almost when we
Oh.
hit Kingston, there is a left highway that we take, like, not a very rough highway, an interior highway, and almost like 30-40 kilometers inside, there is dark sky zones, and there is a whole website. And I personally love astronomy. So we tend to go and watch the skies and all the different planets and the billions of stars. I love nature and sky, where I see Bhagwan most, and of course my heart. And whenever I want to do those kind of meditations, or just have, or actually even thunders and lightnings. So in it's not Kathopanishad, Kenopanishad, there's a whole description of how lightning is Bhagavan. So whenever yesterday was amazing to me, like, thunderstorms, and I love those. So Lennox and Addington, that is the county, I think. But there is a dark sky zone there. So if you Google it, you will get the address, or I'll be able to post that information.
Okay, Guruji. And when is a good day or time to go see there? It's there throughout the year or any particular time?
You can go anytime. It's just open areas. They just don't have any lights in the vicinity for about, I don't know how many kilometers, maybe like 30-40 kilometers. There are no lights. So you'll be able to see absolutely clear skies. But they actually provide you information when there is like no clouds, and there are like, say for example, Mars is appearing. Sometimes you actually see the end of Milky Way, the galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like amazing sceneries with like, so many lights. It's just profound experience to actually watch it. But if you go to those websites, you will see when is a good time to go, and you'd prefer to go when there are no clouds. Of course, you should worry about mosquito repellents and things like that, because you're going into this jungle kind of place. There is clearing in the woods that everybody comes with their huge telescopes and everything, and all the astronomers that we have always met, and they carry like expensive telescopes, and they actually allow you to watch in their telescopes, and everybody is setting their telescope to watch, like, okay, that's Mars, and that sort of stuff. And we carry ours. We have a simple one, but we carry ours, and we watch that. Just something like really profound to see the universe in its in the glory that we can capture. But thinking about it, it's probably a fraction of the universe, but much more than what we generally see.
Yeah,
Guruji,
shared a picture of the constellation once, I remember.
Yeah, that's in my backyard. So I'm really fond of just watching the sky. And every time I watch it, I just do the Purusha Suktam with the Uttara Narayaniyam, and then every time I actually say Hirishchate Lakshmischa Patnyo Nakshatrani Rupam Ashvino Vyattam. I just my tears roll down. It's just amazing feeling, just being in close connection with him. Okay. Yeah, I could tear up now. Okay. Any other thoughts or questions? Anybody else has experienced the dark sky zones in Canada or any other place? I hear Grand Canyon is a beautiful place to do like the sky spotting. I haven't been there yet, so someday, hopefully.
I've been there, Guruji. It's one of the wonderful. It's really amazing to see that.
Yeah. So did you watch the sky? Like, did you go to watch the sky at that time, or did you go to Grand Canyon as a place?
As a place I went, I didn't know about this dark thing, but it was during summer, but it was very beautiful.
Yeah.
Very, very nice. It's something you have to
Breathtaking. Yeah,
watch it.
breathtaking. Yes, I
Right,
agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you're planning to go to Grand Canyon, just make sure that you add this as an additional component to it. I heard it's just beautiful. And it's not very easy to capture with our phones. And I know I have so many pictures, but quite blurry, and it doesn't really, get the essence the way we want it. But like real photographers, especially those coming with those, telescopes, and they have like massive, amazing cameras that can capture dark nights. And they have beautiful pictures. And most of these, there is one particular website that we generally go to look for weather and other information. When is a good day? Like when there are new or activities happening in the sky that we'd be able to view from where we are, based on latitude, longitude. So we look for that information and go. So it's a worthwhile trip all the way there. And because usually these happen in the middle of the night and you need dark skies, sometimes it could be like 12 to 3 in the morning. So we generally prefer to just take a hotel somewhere in Kingston, stay back, and drive back next day morning, just because you're super tired. Especially me, I need my sleep. So these are my exception days where it's worthwhile waiting, not sleeping.
And in the yellow night also, the midnight sun is very beautiful.
Yeah.
And what you said was right. It's about 12, 1, 2 o'clock in the midnight.
Yeah.
It's worth it. Oh my God. It's really the sky and the way it dances and beautiful, the colors.
So start seeing Parabrahman in all these aspects, while we are bringing him into a picture, or a vigraham in front of us. But expand your ideology of Brahman way beyond our favorite vigraham. Okay, so we'll go to the next one. Nabhyala vala romali lataphala kuchadvayi. So, so Nabhyala vala means the I don't know what it is called. The softest, like the hair follicles that follow a path from mother's the belly towards up. And what they say is it's like a creeper that is creeping up, which is giving us the two fruits, her breasts, which is again the sun and the moon. So due to the and this is like samunneya means actually imagination is how they call it, and have to imagine that there is a waist, and from the which means that her waist is so small and so thin that it just we have to imagine it, just because we are seeing those lines of like soft hair follicles, and it actually says it almost is non-visible, slender waist, and from the hair follicles are the two breasts that are growing as the creeper growing as two fruits are the breasts. The deepest part of this meaning is asti nasti bhavana is what they say. What it means is she is the Vishwa Vigraha, and she is the whole cosmos herself, but then she is also the Shunyam. She is almost invisible, and she's there but not there. So that bhavana has to be taken here in order to understand this namam in its real meaning. But of course, if you see mother as a feminine form, that other meaning also can be taken. The next namam, yes, we have enough time to do one more sloka. Lakshya Romalatadhara Samunneya Sumadhyama. Oh, did I? That's what I was thinking. Sorry.
Didn't finish that. You just
Yeah. Okay, so I kind of combined both of those together. Nabhya Dasid Antariksham. Yeah, so that is the Purusha Suktam, Antariksha Romali. Yeah, okay. So I kind of combined both the meanings into one. The first Nabhyalavala Romali Lata Pulakuchadvayi is that's the thin follicles of hair as creepers and the fruits, the breasts as the fruits. Then Lakshya Romalata Dhara Samunneya Sumadhyama. Samunneya is to actually imagine that there is a waist. Just because you are seeing this creeper and the fruits, you have to imagine that there is a waist. Otherwise, she is so slender that it is not visible. So that's where we get the Antariksha Shunya, that one. And that is also from Purusha Suktam, they bring a parlance here. Purusha Suktam says, Nabhya dasit antariksham. In Bhagavan's Nabhi is the antariksham. And antariksham, again, when we go into the Namam Padmanabha, Padmanabha is a fantastic Namam, just to understand couple meanings there. From Bhagavan's Nabhi came the universe, and there is antariksham that is available. From, that's where we see Brahma, the Chaturmukha Brahma sitting in that lotus. That is one part, like, from the Nabhi came the lotus. The other meaning is, again, going back to the Narayana Suktam, where we talk about from the Nabhi, the measurement is given, and there is a Padmam, the inverted Padmam, the lotus bud, which is the form of Bhagavan. So we have to take that meaning as well. So mother, essentially, she is the Vishwa Vigraha. She is there everywhere, but at the same time, she is also the Shunyam, because without Shiva, without the substratum, she is non-existent. The next namam is Stanabhara Dalanmadhya Pattabandha Valitraya. So,
sorry, one question in here.
Go ahead.
Here you said Lata Dhara, or is it Dharata?
Lata Dhara Samunneya Samadhyama.
So there, in my text, there was a ta there, so there's not there. Okay.
So, there is a ta before. So, Lakshya Roma Lata Dhara Samunneyasu Madhyama. And that will be 16 syllables for Anushtup Chandas. Lakshya Roma Lata Dhara Samunneya Su Madhyama. If we added a ta, it will become 17 syllables. And that, is not Anushtup Chandas anymore.
Thank you. That's when I started reading, I found that it was stumbling. So that's the reason I asked.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And as soon as like you add an extra syllable, your chanting just gets confusing. Like, oh, what is this? And that's when we stop. Go ahead, Bhavani ji.
What about the word Pattabandha Valitraya? What does that mean?
Okay, we are looking at that namam, the meaning now. So because of the bharam of the stanam, the breasts are so heavy. Because of that bharam, in the middle part on the waist, there are 3 lines that are forming. Valitraya means lines. The traya means 3. Vali means lines. So patta bandha valitraya, and because our mother is also wearing a abharanam, which we are going to see in the next namam. Vastrabhas. Ratna Kinkini is the Vardhanam that we will be talking about, but this one, because she is also wearing a golden abharanam around her waist. So between that and the bharam of the sthanam, there are 3 lines formed on the waist. So that's the straightforward translational meaning. But we will see what those 3 lines are and why they are describing that. Okay, so Samudrika Shastram actually talks about Saubhagya Lakshanani, and in that they talks about 3 places where there are lines, and the one is on forehead, on the neck, and on the waist. So the deeper part of this meaning is in Panchadasi Mantram. I mentioned about that. I won't be able to say it out loud. There are 15 syllables. And we also talked about the first part of the Kutam, the Vagbhava Kutam has 5 syllables. The second Kutam, Madhyama Kutam or Kamaraja Kutam has 6 syllables. and the last kutam, the last kutam, Shakti kutam, has 4 syllables. In each of these syllables or each of these kutams, there is one bijaksharam that is common to all 3. And that bijaksharam, I think I'll be able to say it, that bijaksharam is Hreem. And we have previously also seen Hreem, right? And Hreem is made up of Ha, Ra, E. So there are 3. So what they are saying, the 3 lines on the forehead, which is on the Vagbhava Kutam, the 3 lines on the neck, and the 3 lines on the waist represent the 3 Kutams and the 3 particular characters that make or form the Bijaksharam Hreem. So this is the samanvayam that we are doing with imagining a physical form of the mother to the mantra form of the mother. Ultimately, we have to understand what we are trying to elevate ourselves from is seeing mother as a vigraham, physical form, just like us, as a representation of, okay, this is the feminine form and this is the masculine form. Instead of defining them in those definite boundary forms, we have to elevate ourselves to who the mother really is. And the next stage is going to the mantra form. Sri Chakram again, comes somewhere in all of this as well. So there is a Hreem represented here too. So those are the 3 lines that are being described are the Hreem Mantrakshara, and there is a slokam somewhere else as well in one of the Upanishads, Devi Upanishad, that talks also about this particular Bijaksharam in a similar context, but in a different way. So I hope that made sense. So shall we chant this sloka before we conclude for the day? I don't want to go into the next sloka with meanings without chanting this one.
Bhagini, sorry.
Go ahead, Ajay Mahoday.
Could you please check the sloka of 15,
Okay.
the first sloka? The syllables, if you remove ta, then there will be only 15 syllable. So I think ta is there in order to make it 16 syllable.
So the ta that Arvindji was talking about is a second ta after ra.
Yeah.
So he was thinking Laksha Romalata Dharata Samunneya Madhyama, Samunneyosu Madhyama, which would have made it 17. So this one ta is existing for sure. So we do have Laksha Romalata Dhara.
If you say, if you remove ta, then there will be only 15 syllable.
We are keeping this ta. This ta will stay. It's an additional ta that he has in his text that is after dharata. Then is a second ta that we are saying it's not existent.
Okay. So lata dharata, is that
that is
correct?
incorrect? That is incorrect. Yeah.
Oh, but if you say one lata dhara, then it becomes 15 syllable. I count it.
Now let's count it. La, ksha, ro, ma. So that's 4.
Yeah. 4. Yeah.
La, ta, dha, ra. 4.
Another 4. Yeah.
Sa, mun, ne, ya. 4. Su, madhya, ma. 4.
Okay, madhyama. In front of madhyama, there is su.
Yeah.
Okay, I missed that. Okay, thank you.
Samunneya su madhyama.
Okay.
But there is no su in front of madhyama. I say sumanneya madhyama, it says on my book.
Maybe that's how we inserted a ta before and then madhyama later by removing su. I don't want to say that's an incorrect version then, but there is a meaning for this one. So when you hear the meaning, you can just discriminate, you can probably make a sound decision on which one you want to continue to use.
Okay.
There is a specific reason why they say.
Second ta is in my book as well. I don't know. So Lakshmi Roma Lata Tharata Sumaneya Madhyama. That's what it's written. So you're saying not to use that ta in the middle?
I cannot define or prescribe like that in this particular case because looks like more than one text has that. But there is a specific meaning why we say Sumadhyama. And Ajaya Mahoday being like a Sanskrit professional, he would know what's the importance of Su. Madhyama is in the middle. Sumadhyama is very emphatically in the exact spot. Whereas if we think about Lakshya Roma Lata Dharata, I don't know how to use the meaning, Ajay Mahoday. I don't know if anything is occurring to you, how to translate that.
I'm not sure. I'll look into it.
Yeah, because I can see like Lata Dhara is a Lata that is passing, the Dhara of
Yeah.
Lata. And Samunneya Sumadhyama, I can understand that one. But if we do Lata Dharata, I'm trying to understand what it means. I have to look back into some other variations of books. Nothing is incorrect. If it is in the Sahasranamam, it has to be correct.
Is
And,
it,
this is how also Bhaskara Raya has translated it. So I might have to look at some other translations or other commentaries to see if that version is available anywhere.
is it Lata Dharata like Bhavata, like Tritiya Vibhakti in Sanskrit? Lata Dharata.
Because if you notice, it's not in Dvitiya anywhere. We are just, it's all Sambodhana.
Okay. Astu again.
So we'll go and figure out, Ajay Mohan. It's a homework for you and me.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions before we conclude? And we'll chant this sloka next week, as it is 9:45 and my puja is starting at 10 o'clock. I'm super excited about, by the way, just because it's Navarahi Navratris, she is one of the Ashtamatrukas. The Ashtamatrukas being Brahmi, Maheshwari, Kaumari, Vaishnavi, Varahi, Mahendri, Chamunda, Mahalakshmi. So the Varahi spot is in this corner. I don't know if you can see my Sri Chakram completely till that spot. So there are 3 lines here. You can see she is in that second line in this corner spot, that is Varahi mother's spot. So we will be doing a lot of pujas and trying to please her. She's a very powerful mother. And just like, as I was saying, with her Shakti, the earth has been saved once by Varaha Narasimha Swami or Varaha Swami. And we are hoping for the welfare of the world with all the crazy things that are currently happening in almost every corner of the world. We are hoping with these pujas, Varaha Swami, with his Shakti Varahi, he'll be able to help us bring back earth to its normal state and more peaceful state. Okay, with that, we'll conclude here. So, ॐ सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ शान्तिः 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 हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु Sarvam Sri Paradevatarpanamastu. Thank you so much for your time. Have a wonderful weekend and we'll catch up soon.
ధన్యవాదः.
Thank you. Happy Varahi Puja.
Thank you, Guruji.
Dhanyavadaha.
Thank you.
ధన్యవాదాः.
Dhanyavadaha.
Thank you.
Thank
Namaskar.
you. Namaskaraha.
When will the puja finish?
Around 2 o'clock, Amma.
Oh wow, that's a long puja.
Yeah, and I think actually we are doing even weekdays in the evenings around 7 o'clock, and we'll probably end at like 10 or 11, so it'll be fun.
So what puja is it? So who's doing it?
A bunch of us actually, like there are multiple groups that I am involved in. I do my own personal sadhana in the mornings. There is a Devi Mahatmyam Parayana that's going to happen, and there is a whole puja. And then we'll conclude with Rudra Homam and Rudra Abhishekam, etc. towards the end.
So is that all online or everybody's together?
No online, unfortunately. I wish we could have gotten together. And Vyasa Purnami is on July 5th. So I want to extend my Navaratris all the way till there. It probably is like 15 days of Navaratris. Doesn't make sense. But I just want to do it longer for everybody's welfare.
Okay.
Ramesh, Guruji, I think that Ramesh ji also is invited for me to come and join for that.
Yeah.
This.
So Ramesh G is starting at 10 o'clock. It'll be on
Yeah.
YouTube live if you want to join in.
Yeah.
We'll be chanting Devi Mahatmyam today.
Yeah, that's what he told me. Thank you, Guruji.
Very
Thanks
much.
everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Guruji, can you post that link so we can just join?
Oh, absolutely. I'll
Possible?
send, yeah, I'll send the YouTube live.
Thank you.
Thanks
Evening
everyone.
we have class, right, Guruji? Six.
Yes, we do. Yeah, we do.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks everyone. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.